Hi, I'm Rick with Bestop, and today I'm here to walk you through the installation of the Trektop Glide for your two-door jail ring. We've got everything laid out here on the table to get familiar with. I recommend you do the same thing at home. We're going to walk you through all the parts that you need, the stuff that's included, and just the few hand tools you need to do the installation. All of the fabric parts are included in the kit, including the deck, the right and left quarter windows, and the rear window. Main mounts, quarter window retainers, tailgate bar retainers, Sunrider arm right and left, rear bow arm right and left, 4-bar assembly, 2 and 3 bow assembly, tailgate bar, right and left door rail lowers, and your right and left door rail uppers. The Trektop Glide comes with all of the parts you need to complete the installation. I know this looks like a lot, but there's really not much here, and we're going to go through it step by step. Kit comes with an installation instruction, and you'll only need a few hand tools to complete the job. We're going to install the door rails using 2 M6 screws and nuts. Screws go in from the bottom to the top. Use a 4mm hex to install the screws. Repeat on the other side. Door rails are assembled. To install the door rails, you're going to use 2 long and the 1 short M8 screws. To align the door rail, the pin on the bottom goes into a hole on the belt rail, and these 2 shoulders up here on the upper clamp are going to go into holes on top of the sport bar. When you put it on, there's a seal up here at the front that you want to take a look at. Make sure that everything is nice and flush. Sometimes these get pinched underneath and the seal can get damaged. This guy just goes in there. Take care on these so that you don't over tighten them. You might crack the rail. To install the tailgate bar retainers, there is a left and a right, but they're the same shape as the belt. There's a small pin on the side that goes into a hole on the belt. We're going to install that using the medium length M8 bolt. It's a T50 Torx. Once you've got that installed, repeat that on the opposite side. Now we're going to install the quarter window retainers to the 2 and 3 bow assembly and the Sunrider arms. I've got the other bow just kind of put down on the side behind the table here so that it's easier for me to handle, but I recommend you do this on the table before you get anywhere near your Jeep. We're installing these parts using an M6 screw and star lock washer. You'll use an M4 hex for the assembly. When you're installing the Sunrider arm, make sure that the rubber bumper and the long bracket are facing towards this assembly. Once you're done with that, repeat those steps on the other side. It's a little easier to do this installation if you're standing in the middle of the bows, but I'm doing it this way to make sure it's easy for you to see on the camera. To assemble the 4-bar assembly, the main mount, we're going to use the 4-bar pivot, the flat thrust washer, the shoulder bushing, a flat washer, star washer, and M6 screw. To complete the assembly, thrust washer over the pivot, shoulder bushing in the large hole, align the flats on the pivot to the bracket. Then it's the star washer, the flat washer to complete the assembly. After you've tightened that down, repeat that on the other side. Hey, to prevent this from being installed upside down, when you're all done, this front portion should have the small radius pointing down, and the brackets, the long part, is coming out the end. Our next step is going to be installing the 2 3-bow assembly to the 4-bar assembly. That's going to go together exactly like that last step, where we have the pivot, the bushing, the shoulder bushing, the flat washer, the star washer, and the M6 screw. Once you've got that side complete, repeat for the other side. We're going to install the pivot arm to the frame assembly. Get familiar with the pivot arms. There's a right and a left. The way you'll know the difference is the pin that's on the mounting bracket is always going to be facing to the inside, and this long arm is going to be parallel with this bracket when it's installed to the frame. It's a 4mm hex to complete the assembly. Once you've tightened that down, go ahead and repeat that step on the other side. Next step is installing the 2-bow to the Sunrider pivot. For this step, we turned the assembly now so that it's facing the right way up on the vehicle when you install it, and it really is going to help you out if you get a friend to manage all of that while you do it. To complete the assembly, it's an M6 screw and a star washer on each of the sides. Before you complete that assembly, check this bow. You want to make sure that the strap is wrapped around and falling back down towards the ground. Use a 4mm hex to tighten those down. Once you've got those tight, repeat that on the other side. Okay, this next step is super easy, but you need a friend to help you out. We're going to move the frame assembly from the table up on top of the vehicle, and we're going to set it down on the sport bar. After you've got the frame on the sport bar, you're going to secure it using 2 of the medium M8 screws on each side. Tighten those down with T50 Torx. Once you've got this side secure, repeat on the other side. Secure the 4-bow pivot to the sport bar by placing the pin into the slot, and then you rotate it into position and secure on the bottom hole using the medium M8 bolt. It's a T50 Torx. I moved up on top here to show you how we're going to prepare the side bows to be attached to the number 1 bow and the deck. There is a tie-down strap that is secured for the brackets when it ships, because these are all spring-loaded pivots, and there's a small screw and a spacer that you're going to remove and discard now that you have the assembly on your Jeep. And you can use this when you're off on the trail, if you're driving with the Sunrider open, to keep it secured in position. Make sure that is attached when you remove the screw and the spacer that help to secure that during shipment. It's an M4 hex to remove the screw. These you throw away. All right, so now that those screws have been removed, we can undo the tie-down strap to prepare for the next step, where we attach the 1 bow and the fabric to the side bow. This stays on the vehicle, and you can use it for securing the top if you're ever driving off-road. When you remove the second strap, make sure that you have a hand to control this so that it's easy to go into the up position. For this step, I've had my friend move the fabric assembly up onto the hood of the Jeep. We've put something down just to protect the paint, so that we can remove 2 screws on each side that allows us to install the one bow up onto the Jeep and then attach it to the frame. It's a T20 to remove the 2 screws. Save those screws. You're going to reuse them when you complete the assembly. 2 on each side. This is another part where you're going to need a friend to help you move the number 1 bow up on top of the vehicle. Lift it up and kind of spin it around as you go up and set it right down on top of the windshield. To secure the side bow to the number 1 bow, we're going to reach up and pull the assembly down. Watch your fingers. And then we're going to attach it right at the front with 2 M6 screws and star washers. Once you get those tightened down, repeat that on the other side. Now we're going to move the fabric over the top of the Jeep to the rear. Make sure you got your buddy still here to help you out for that. Open the sunroof so we can get access to these screws again to put that back together. I've moved up here on top so we can show you putting the 2 screws that were removed in the earlier step back into position. To install the foam seal, look for this feature, this radius, and it's going to line up on the 1 bow there. So this one, that'll be for the other side. We've moved to the back of the Jeep here, and with your friend helping you, we're going to install the rear bow to the bracket. There are 2 holes that have nuts already welded in place. You're going to rotate that down and put the screws in from the inside out. It's the M6 with the star washer. I would start all 4 of these before you tighten them down. attach the cable at the back. Make sure you find the eyelet, pull it out of that slit that's in the fabric. If it gets pulled up in there during installation, it's no trouble. Just reach in there, you can feel around for it, pull it back out. There may be a zip tie on here when you get it. You can clip that off and throw it away. But what you're going to do is you're going to put this eyelet into the insert using the shoulder bolt. Put a little dab of Loctite on there before you install it, and make sure that the flat side is always facing in and the cable crimp is facing out. Put a little bit of this on there. It's a 2.5 millimeter hex. When you're tightened down, this should rotate freely. Repeat those steps on the other side. I've moved inside the Jeep now to show you to put the bow flap onto the bows. There's a 2-bow and a 3-bow. The 2-bow, it's a lot easier to do from the front seat. The 3-bow, it's going to be easier to do if you can open this front up just a little bit and then crawl in from the back. Okay. We're going to install the quarter windows now. So you can see I folded the fabric up out of the way a little bit. That's so that we can slide this retainer that's on the top into the channel. There are flat retainers on the front and the bottom that will clip into a channel on the door rail and the belt rail. And the rear of the window has a stiffener panel that has a clip right at the top that'll tuck over the rear bow. It's always easier to install if you hold it parallel and kind of pinch it and slide it in. So the clip goes on the rear bow and the strap snaps to the tailgate bar retainer. The retainer at the front of the window is going to flip into a channel in the door rail. And the retainer at the bottom flips into the channel on the belt. Once you've got the driver's side on, go ahead and switch over to the passenger side. Installing the rear window, you have a tube retainer on the top and flat retainers on the side. Start that end into the rear bow and slide it across. The tailgate bar has the tube section on top the soft seal on the bottom, and the plastic clips on each end that will go into the retainer. To attach the rear window, you slide the tube retainer through the channel and then secure it to the Jeep. To secure the side of the rear panel, the flat retainer goes into the channel on the quarter window. When you're done, you can put the bottom retainer in and secure the hook and loop. Make sure you get both sides. Once you have all the windows in, don't forget to pull all the flaps down and secure the hook and loop. And once you have that done, you're ready for the road. To secure the latches to the windshield, pull the one bow down and tip the latch forward. You can press on this hook to make sure it engages the receiver, and then you just press up on the handle. To release, pull down. It's the same on both driver and passenger side. Thanks for joining me today for the installation of the Trektop Glide for the two-door JL Wrangler. If you have any questions at all, you have any trouble with the installation, please reach out to Bestop. Our customer service team is ready and able to help you. Thanks, have a great day, and we'll see you out on the trail.